Welcome to Civilnet. My guest today is Artak Beglaryan. Welcome to Civilnet. Artak, your list of accomplishments is quite extraordinary. You have just climbed Mount Ararat, something that many people have attempted but have not always succeeded. Is it silly to ask you if this is even more special because you lost your eyesight when you were 6 years old? So basically, you climbed the highest peak in this region, a very symbolic mountain for Armenians all over the world, without any eyesight.
Actually, yes, it's interesting because for me, first of all, it's symbolic for Armenians. Secondly, I'm blind and I climbed the highest top of this region. That's why it could be interesting. But at the beginning, just I thought that I need to climb Ararat because I'm an Armenian and this mountain is very symbolic for every Armenian, each Armenian. That's why I wanted. It was a wish of mine. But secondly, it was important because it's a gesture by a blind man who can climb a mountain, a summit, which could be unavailable for many people, many Armenians, not only Armenians, but also many climbers. That's why this blind man who can climb the highest summit of the region can prove that many things could be available if you have wish, if you seek to reach your dream or your goal. And in this perspective, it was also interesting and important to not only the disabled people of Armenia, but also to every man who need to seek, who need to work for his own dreams or goals.
Just going through your very extensive resume, you studied at Yerevan State University, you went to University College London, you went to Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. I mean, the list is just endless. You are a speed reader with the aid of a screen reader software, and I just saw you in action a few minutes earlier and how you were using your iPhone and your computer with the aid of this computer software. You have accomplished things in your life, and I think you're 25 years old?
Yeah.
In 25 years, that most of us can only hope to achieve over perhaps many lifetimes even. And what I began to understand is that your disability, your blindness, absolutely does not define who you are.
Actually, it doesn't, but we can't refuse that it has some impact on my, on my achievements, on my identity, etc. First of all, negatively, it has. It's an obstacle to my achievements, it's an obstacle to my physical abilities, etc. But on the other hand, it has also positive impact because sometimes if you have much more obstacles and difficulties, in that case you are making more and more efforts, you are doing a lot to reach your goals.
Sure, it makes you more determined.
Yeah. That's why I can say that it has some impact, but in a large sense, it doesn't have any impact on my identity because I don't feel myself as a disabled person, and I feel myself as a man with full abilities, let's say, yeah.
I would say you are, and even much more than that. Artak, you were born in Stepanakert in Nagorno-Karabakh, and that is how you lost your sight at the age of 6. From what I understand, it was due to an unexploded mine.
Yes.
And yet you have a very, very close connection, affinity, passion for the development of Nagorno-Karabakh, and today you are the assistant to the Prime Minister of Artsakh. What does Nagorno-Karabakh mean for you? Because I know you had created an NGO and you're working in different areas with different projects.
Artsakh means for me as a part of Armenia, the whole Armenia. It's actually politically it has some problems, legally it has some problems, but the identity of Artsakh and the territory is an Armenian territory, and I don't divide Artsakh from Armenia, and I don't want to just to invest my knowledge, my skills in that field, but I want to invest my knowledge in the development of whole Armenia, including Artsakh. But since Artsakh nowadays is the most important and significant part of Armenia, I mean, even strategically, that's why we should, not only me, but also each Armenian should pay his own attention to the Artsakh, mostly to Artsakh and to other regions of Armenia.
Sure. I would like for us, if we could, to return back to Mount Ararat, because I saw some of the footage, and you were able to climb. First of all, who was in your group?
I knew only one of them. I mean, we were 15. Only a woman was Russian. One of the Armenians, I mean 14 Armenians, was French Armenian. I mean, he's living in France. And one of them was American Armenian.
Okay, and you had a guide with you who was walking in front of you, and you had your hand or your arm on his shoulder, on his back, and he would lead and you would follow. Were there any times where you had to say, stop, I can't, I need to catch my breath? Or were you the one pushing him to keep going?
No, just I was pushing, and he was an excellent guide for me. He's a friend of mine. And even when we were close to the summit, we were in the front of the group. I mean, yeah, we were the first climbers. So,
you know, I have this wishful, it's a complete dream that one day I would like to climb Mount Ararat. I don't know if I will ever be able to.
I think you'll be.
Well, you've inspired me for sure. Tell me what it felt like when you got to the top and you realized that you're standing on top of Mount Ararat, and I'm sure the air is very thin up there and it was bitterly cold, and yet you were standing there in a cap with no earmuffs and no scarf, and I can't remember, I don't think you even had any gloves on, and you were singing Armenian patriotic songs, and you were reciting poetry. Where did all of that energy come from?
I think that energy comes from the summit of Ararat. The emotion that you are standing on the top of that mountain, symbolic mountain, just gives you lots of energy, gives you everything which helps you not to feel the cold weather, the windy weather. That's why I felt very emotional. It was a very historic moment for me, at least for me. And that's why I needed to use my time, spend my time there rationally. I mean, for me, it's rational when you are singing, when you are just saying poetry, etc.
How long were you able to stay up? on the summit?
For an hour, probably.
What, for a whole hour you're able
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
there?
I was there.
You know, Artak, even though it obviously there are difficulties with any kind of disability, but it seems that you've been able to break those barriers down. Today in Armenia, people with disabilities still continue to face, I would say, a certain level of intolerance, of not understanding, of not willing to accommodate, to be able to have more disabled people part of mainstream society. Has this been an important part of what you do, what you want to do in Armenia and in Artsakh?
Yeah, it is an important part of my job, I mean my activity, but also it's an important part of my climbing. Just I needed to send a message to, first of all, to every disabled people in Armenia, to say that you are able to do much more than you are feeling that you can. Because I think the main problems in Armenia for disabled people are coming just from themselves, not from the society. Because if you are disabled people and you feel yourself just confident, and you, in that case, you can show the society that you are not disabled actually, and you can do many things that the society can suspect that you can do. I mean, yes, society has many stereotypes just regarding to the disabled people, but the main sources of those stereotypes are just disabled people themselves. Because if they are closed, if they don't want to get in touch with everyone, they don't want to be integrated in the society, society will never know about them. That's why they should do the first step.
I agree completely. So Artakjan, what is next for you? Because I can imagine you doing just about anything you set your mind to. But what's in your immediate future? What are the things you want to sort of, what are the challenges that await you?
Actually, it's a whole road path for me, and I don't want to separate another point just in the future. I mean, because for me, my life is not a life of points. It's a life of continuous struggle, continuous steps, etc. But as a separate or significant point, probably I would say that applying for PhD, because I'm thinking of continuing my life as a scientist, as an analyst. At least a part of my life will be that, and probably in this September or October I'll apply for PhD here. Then probably I will think of a PhD abroad, but I don't want to.
I'm sitting here looking at you and I'm thinking, does your family ever say to you, okay, Artak, enough? I mean, it's like you just keep going forward and moving forward all the time. It's extraordinary. How do they feel about what you've accomplished?
Unfortunately, I lost my father in the war, I mean in 1993, and I lost my mother in 2005. Yeah, but I have brothers, just brilliant brothers, 2 brothers, and they are always supporting me.
And they live in Artsakh?
Yeah, they live in Artsakh, they have their own families, and I live with them.
Artakjan, I think that you invariably have become and will continue to be a role model not only for people with disabilities in Armenia, but people not only in Armenia, but all over the world. I want to thank you for taking the time to come and sit down with us here at Civilnet and to talk to us about your extraordinary adventures and challenges and your outlook. And I wish you much luck with all of your endeavors and hope to hear that you've been accepted to the PhD program.
Thank you very much. That's my pleasure. Thanks for the invitation. And also, that's my duty.
Thank you.
Գոտրեր գերաններ խախտվեր են սը Պիտի դնեմ մեջ վայրի հավքեր, Թոր գեկնձի թալեմ են ելման գետեր, Ըլնիմ ձգներու ձայքերացը կեր,